Welcome to this video lesson. In this video lesson, we'll study the definitions of economics. The word economics comes from two Greek words, eco meaning home and nomos meaning accounts. The subject has developed from being about how to keep the family accounts. In economics, we study how people earn income and resources and how they spend them on their necessities, comforts and luxuries. With the passage of time, the word economics was used for an economy as whole, in the sense that how a nation takes steps to fulfill its desires and preferences with the help of scarce means. That's why economics was called political economy in its early ages. Now, before I tell you the definitions of economics, it is important to know what are economic and non-economic activities. Now see, what are economic activities? Are activities to generate income are termed as economic activities, which are responsible for the origin and development of economics as a subject. And non-economic activities are the other activities like social activities, political activities and religious activities. Now come to definitions of economics, right? Now the first definition given by Adam Smith is also called the wealth definition. Then the second definition was given by Marshall, which is called welfare definition. And the third definition given by Robbins, that is called scarcity definition. And the growth oriented definition given by Samuelson. Right. So these are the four definitions we will study in this video lesson. That is wealth definition, welfare definition, scarcity definition and growth oriented definition, right? Alright, we'll start with the wealth definition given by Adam Smith. Adam Smith wrote a book in 1776, The Wealth of Nations. Now Adam Smith is well known as the father of economic science because he made economics as an independent science. As I told, in 1776 AD, Adam Smith wrote a famous book, Wealth of Nations. In that book, he defined economics as economics is an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nation. In other words, according to Adam Smith, economics is a science of wealth. Now the characteristics of his definition, right? His definition takes into account only material goods. This is the first characteristics of his definition. Second, placed men at secondary place. He gave more importance to wealth than men, right? So his definition was criticized later on, right? And what were the criticism of wealth oriented definition? Like, first, the considered economics as a dismal or selfish science. This is the first allegation against this definition. The second, defined wealth in a very narrow or restricted sense, which considers only material or tangible goods. Non-tangible goods were not included, right? Then have given emphasis only to wealth and reduced men to secondary place in the study of economics. Now another definition of economics was given by A. Marshall, and this definition is also called welfare definition. Now Dr. Alfred Marshall is regarded as a leader of neoclassical economists. He was a professor of economics at Cambridge University. In 1890 AD, Marshall published a book, Principles of Economics. In that book, he defined economics as a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. Ordinary business of life means earning and spending, right? It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of material requisites of well-being. Thus, it is on one side the study of wealth, and on other, the more important side, a part of study of man. Right? He gave more importance to man than wealth. Of course, he gave importance to wealth, but he gave man more importance than wealth in his definition. Right? Now, the characteristics of welfare definition. First, it is primarily the study of mankind. Right? Takes into account ordinary business of life. It is not concerned with social, religious and political aspects of man's life. Right? It means it takes into account only ordinary business of life, means earning and spending. It is not concerned with social, religious and political aspects of life, means non-economic activities were excluded from this definition. Emphasize on material welfare as a primary concern of economics, that part of human welfare which is related to wealth. Right? Only this was given more focus. Right? Which part of human welfare which is related to wealth. Right? Or that part of human welfare which he gets due to economic activities. Right? Emphasis on material requisites of well-being. Basically, if you see, right, more emphasis was on wealth, but he gave due importance to men also. Now, his definition was also criticized because the main focus was wealth, though man was given due importance. Right? So, criticized for treating economics as a social science rather than a human science. Thus, welfare definition restricts the scope of economics to the study of persons living in organized communities only. Right? So, an individual man, his activities, if you are living in isolation, right? So, it is not the part of economic activity according to this definition. Right? Because he considered economics as a social science. Right? So, thus welfare definition restricts the scope of economics to the study of persons living in organized communities only. Right? Then, it was also criticized because of the distinction made between economic and non-economic activities. It's because all human activities have economic aspect. Right? Then third, welfare in itself has a wide meaning which is not made clear in definition because he included only economic activities. Right? Non-economic activities which bring welfare was not the part of his definition. Right? And there are some economic activities, you can call those as economic activities, but they do not bring any welfare. Right? So, according to this, definition, all those economic activities are also included in welfare definition. Right? Like there are some economic activities which do not bring welfare, like production of liquor, cigarettes, guns and all. Right? So, according to this definition, all these production of all these goods also bring about welfare, which is not true. Now, next definition was given by L. Robbins. This is also called scarcity definition or scarcity concept. Now, Robbins is regarded as a leader of modern economists. In 1932 AD, he published a book, The Nature and Significance of Economic Science. In that book, he has given a new definition of economics called scarcity definition. Right? And according to this definition given by Robbins, right? So according to Lionel Robin, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends, right? Here you can see one word, ends. Ends means wants here. What do you mean by ends? Wants, right? And scare means which have alternate uses. So this is the scarcity definition. Means economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends means wants and scare means which have alternate uses. Means according to this definition, right, that wants are unlimited and the means to fulfill those wants are limited. Basically the focus was on scarcity of resources. Now some characteristics of scarcity definition. He considered economics as a positive science, right? The second, unlimited ends. Ends means wants, right? He focused on unlimited ends. That scare means the limited resources. Alternative usage of means the resources which are available can be used for different purposes, like a piece of land can be used for cultivation or for construction of a house, right? Then choice, study of human behavior, right? If any resource has alternative uses, it gives rise to a problem of choice. Choice means whether to construct a house or to use that piece of land to make a road or to use it for cultivation, right? So it gives rise to choice. Why? Because it has alternative usage, right? Then how can you say this definition is better than welfare definition given by Marshall, right? So there are some regions like try to bring the economic problem which forms the foundation of economics as a social science, right? Then the scarcity definition of economics is the most universal in nature, right? Universal in nature means the root cause of all the economic problems in this world is scarcity of resources, right? Then has taken both science in account, social and human, right? According to him, as Marshall said, that the economics deals only is a social science, not a human science. Human science means which studies even the individual human being also. Even if the individual is living in isolation, right, his activities are also the part of what? Economic activities. So he considered economics as a social science as well as human science. It takes into account all human activities, whether it is economic activities or non-economic activities. Then consideration of neutral science was considered much logical. Neutral science means it is a positive science, right? It's a positive science, that's why it is called a neutral science, right? So on these grounds you can say his definition was better than the welfare definition, right? Now his definition was also criticized on some grounds. Like first, his definition does not focus on many important economic issues of like unemployment, income determination and economic growth and development. The second, does not take into account the possibility of increase in resources over time. And the third, has treated economics as a science only, but economics is both science as well as art. Now another definition of economics was given by Samuelson. This is also called growth oriented definition, right? What do we call it? Growth oriented definition given by Professor Samuelson, right? Now according to Professor Samuelson, economics is the study of how man and society choose with or without the use of money to employ the scarce productive resources which have alternative uses to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in future among various people and group of society. Right. So this is the definition given by Samuelson. Now some characteristic feature of growth oriented definition given by Samuelson. The definition is not merely concerned with the allocation of given resources, but also with the expansion of resources. Tries to analyze how the expansion and growth of resources to be used to cope with increasing human wants. Right. So the second characteristics of this definition is more dynamic approach. Right. The third characteristic feature is, according to him, problem of resource allocation is a universal problem, whether it's a barter economy or money using exchange economies. Right. And the last feature of his definition is comprehensive in nature, as it is both growth oriented as well as future oriented. It's future oriented because it's dynamic in approach. Now the question is, which definition is better? Right. So one definition may be considered better than other, but there is no definition in economics which is universally accepted by all. Economics is a fast growing science. Subject matter of economics has grown so vast that it is not possible to give any precise definition. Modern economists have stopped giving any precise definition of economics. And according to Wiener, economics is what economists do. Right. This is the concept of economics now. There isn't any precise definition of economics. Right. Alright then, in the next lesson, right, we will start another chapter. Thank you.